like I said early on, either you're gonna be inspired or intimidated. So I got people watching for the right reasons and the wrong reasons. I always say you got three type of people.
What's that?
You got your advocate,
Yeah.
who is your cheerleaders that ain't going nowhere.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna be there. Right, wrong, and different. They gonna cross over with you. You got your supporters. Supporters change. So I can reach this level and I may have exceeded where you thought I should be or how you see me.
Yeah.
And you got your haters.
Yeah.
All three of those really. You can't get rid of them. They gonna have a seat at any table in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you at, what you doing, and how you doing, and who you doing it with. So when you're aware and you understand who you are and whose you are, I can now move accordingly around these corners. That makes sense.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yo, what up, 33? Tell me something good.
Everybody.
You know, they tell me life don't come with no menu, so we're going to take it a day at a time.
Good days, great nights. Pick your favorite cigar. Some cognac.
Well. We back again. You now tuned into the Good Days GreatNights Podcast. I go by CoolBreezeAl. If you know me in the cigar world, they call me 33. Alicia and Ariston's father or daddy, depending on what demographic, how you get down. Your auntie's favorite podcast host. She been calling me lately. She say, "Man, I like what you're doing, baby. Keep on going. I'm gonna tell my niece to do right." You know, your uncle's favorite nephew. Me and him, we've been talking. We don't know if we want to keep Dak or not. You know, we kind of feel short when it came to the Super Bowl. Second coming to Gerald Levert, Mr. Will Spin Your Mama from a half to a whole. I just got a few handles, not a lot, but just a few. It's always great to break bread with my people. So anytime I get my people here and we can break bread, I always have a good time with it. I think this one's gonna be special. I say that about everyone, but it's always good when I get people that I know that can be transparent. So we got a rule here at Good Days GreatNights Podcast. We don't introduce you by your name. A lot of times they may have heard something about you. They may have heard this story or that story. We base it off of something a little different. So we base it off in the form of music in a road trip. So if you was getting ready to go somewhere and you can pick a place you want to go right now, what place would you pick?
I'm not a real road tripper.
I know, but it's the irony of it. We can pick a bigger destination, and that'll be fine as well.
You know, now I'm gonna abide by the rules.
Okay. We can go out the country.
We can go out the country.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna pick Hawaii. We going out the country, but that's a long
No.
road trip.
So I got an antidote. We get off the plane. We in Hawaii, right? It's we get a Sprinter, and we got a driver, but you got the aux cord.
Okay.
So you got your group of people with you. I got my group of people with me. I know you. I've had conversations with you, and your people know you. But I got 3 people in the back of the Sprinter. They don't know you. So they want to get to know you based off of the music choice. And it's no right or wrong, but it's just more or less if you can describe yourself in 5 songs of where you're at in the world right now, what would that be?
They don't know me. And they
Yeah.
gotta get to know me through my music.
Through your
first.
music. Through your music. Where you at in your current, in your current mental right now.
Yeah.
What 5 songs would you play?
Well, first I'm gonna say with that introduction,
Uh-huh.
you gave me like 10 different personalities.
That's good.
That's great.
That's good.
So you made me feel all the way human.
Right.
Like
right.
I'm not the only person over here dealing with me, she, and her, huh?
They always come. They
Yeah.
always come. They always come. Trust me, they come.
So they all gonna be in this Sprinter.
Yeah, we all in
Today.
there. Yeah.
Y'all in there.
Uh-huh.
For real, I'm a gospel listener.
That's good.
So we riding. And see, that's my intimate space. So I'm gonna mix some if I'm with other people, being considerate. But if it's me and my world, I gotta have that moment.
Okay.
Yolanda Adams is my favorite gospel artist.
Okay.
But I rock with Lecrae.
So Lecrae or Yolanda? You get 5.
We can do both of them. For real.
Okay, so
We can
Yolanda.
because they both got different tones, different meanings.
Okay, so what's the song from Yolanda?
Lecrae, I'm gonna have to from Yolanda.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do. Dang, what's the name of that song? I think it's I Believe.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I think it's I Believe. If it's not,
Charge it to my mind, not my heart.
yeah.
I believe.
I want to look it up.
No, I don't do. We ain't gonna do that. We
Okay.
ain't got-
Or Never Give Up. That's what it is.
Never
Yolanda
Give
Adams.
Up. See how
Never
that
Give
works?
Up. That's what it is.
Okay, so talk about that song a little bit.
That's one of them motivators. That's one of them. Let me get real deep down in the soul and the core,
Okay.
but where you gotta check yourself and have a me conversation and get back to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Connected with who you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Where you going and how you gonna get there.
Okay.
Even without even knowing the how, like the details of the how.
Yeah.
But just the coreness of I got the juice, I got the connection,
Yeah.
I got the source.
Yeah.
You know, the powerfulness of it.
Gotcha.
It just gives you that strength to keep on going, build you back up, and make you want to keep on going. I'm cutting it out. Make you want to keep on going.
It's supposed to do it because the way it does is it pops.
Oh.
Yeah. We can bring you a little closer.
Oh, okay. My mouth gonna touch it.
You ain't gonna be. You gonna be all right. I promise. There it is, right there.
But yeah, it's one of them cores. It's that it just hits you down in the gut where you
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Perfect.
And ain't no looking back. Ain't no I can't. Ain't no I might.
Okay.
It's yes I can and oh yes you will.
I will.
Yeah.
It's
Not even I will. It's like you're being charged with.
Yeah.
Yes you will. Like you're being told and held accountable.
Yeah.
Girl, you got this.
Right.
Quit playing with us.
Gotcha. And then Lecrae, what's that song?
Background.
Background. Okay.
I will play that background. I can't sing, but I think I can.
Everybody can sing.
Yeah, in the shower.
That's it. Okay. Background. You get 3 more. What's your other 3?
So my kids, we kind of had this little thing going back and forth.
I've been seeing that.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that. Because somebody crazy about this one guy.
This one guy.
Somebody's crazy about this one guy, one of my favorite artists. Are we gonna put him on there?
Hell yeah, most definitely.
So what's the song?
I
What's
wouldn't
the
be being
song?
transparent.
What's the song?
The song we gonna do Hail Mary.
Come on, because you know we all love a good Tupac, don't we, bro?
We gonna do I Ain't Mad at You.
So hold on, you want both of them? Okay, Hail Mary and I Ain't Mad at You.
And I'm a romance child.
Come on.
Ah!
Let me hear it. One more.
Let's do I want to do Ed Sheeran or Keisha Cole and Jaheim.
I'm not wild. Okay. I changed.
I'm kind of torn because Ed Sheeran gonna be my wedding song.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
We're gonna do Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
That way we can dive into some different areas.
Okay. Bet. Okay, so we got Yolanda Adams, Never Give Up. We got Lecrae, Background, Tupac.
They're gonna be like, this girl confused.
No, I'm gonna break it all the way down for you. So Tupac, Hail Mary, and I Ain't Mad at You. Then Ed Sheeran. So if we in the back and we kind of comparing notes, it would say that you know God, you know where you want to be, and you know where your help come from. But it also say that you understand like what it looks like to have to go through something. With Tupac, it is who he is. He was a poet, but he was a beautiful man in the sense of the way he delivered it. Even with Hail Mary, even saying I Ain't Mad at You was just one of them ones. Like it didn't matter what it was, but I'm so pro Tupac. Like you can tell me about that. And then Ed is just the soul. Even though he a little lighter than us, he got the soul.
He got the soul.
So without further ado, could you do me a favor? Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I can. So
Okay.
my name is Carletta Temple,
Okay.
and I'm a Kansas City, Missouri native,
Yeah.
born and raised.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, I'm a twin sister.
Okay.
I'm a mother of two.
Come on, pop it.
Uh, I'm a God fearing woman,
Yeah.
as my brother said. Um, and I'm around the way. I'm a down to earth type of chick.
Yeah.
I like to say I'm bougie ghetto
Yeah.
because I like my nice things, but I'm relatable.
Okay.
I understand because I come from
Yeah.
poverty. I come from the bottom.
Yeah.
Everything that I have had to create an opportunity or know how to sit at the table and take advantage of the opportunity.
Okay. So with that, and I thank you again for coming. So with that, and you saying coming from the bottom and just coming where you from, what was your childhood like?
Ooh, I'm gonna say this because I have dealt with this
Yeah.
in my adult years and in these last couple chapters of my life. As dysfunctional as it was,
Yeah.
I felt love.
Uh-huh.
I never felt like I went without love.
Yeah.
So to describe it in one word is kind of difficult.
No, you just did it.
Yeah.
No, because like I think a lot of times like when we growing up, we don't understand what a lot of times like kids are being shut, like their parents kind of put their shield up or their family put their shield up and they block them from a lot of stuff that they would normally see when you become an adult. It's a gift and a curse because you kind of be like, dang, I wish I would have knew this or this was going on. But at the same time, the key ingredient is always love.
Yeah.
Because there's some people, and I've said this before, some people are raised two ways. It's either you raised off of survival or you raised off of love.
Yeah.
I prefer to be around people that are raised off love.
Yeah.
People off of survival, I think at some point in time, at the wrong time, they'll take advantage because this is survival, it just kicks in. But if it's love and it's genuine, it'll always surpass because love is in spite of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Love is in spite of. It doesn't matter how people treat you, how they do you, or whatever. You still love them because it's in spite of. You see what I'm saying? So dysfunctional mom and dad in the home?
No, I grew up in a separate household.
Okay.
My mom and dad was actually best friends.
They were best friends.
Yeah.
Afterwards or prior to? Or,
Prior to.
Yeah.
Nah, they still OG.
Yeah.
Nah, prior to. Me and my twin brother was born out of wedlock.
Okay.
Yeah. But honestly, I had the best of both worlds because I grew up with my stepmom.
Yeah.
And I
We'll
grew up
we'll
with
call her bonus. We'll call her bonus.
Yeah, bonus.
Yeah.
And I grew up with a stepfather
Yeah.
in a home.
Bonus father.
Yeah, bonus father. So, I mean, each side culturally in the way that they did things was similar but
Yeah.
different. So you got exposed to different things on this side and you got exposed to different things on this side.
Okay.
And that's just what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, so to me growing up, that's how we understood things.
Yeah. It was the
that was
norm.
our norm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm the baby on my mom's side.
Okay.
And on my dad's side, we're the middle.
Yeah.
But we didn't grow up with half anything. My
Right.
siblings is my siblings.
That's-
Period, point blank.
Yeah.
That's my backbone. That's my rock. That's my cheerleaders. I'm a twin, but I have 7 sisters and a younger brother as well. So
Yeah.
7 sisters and 2 brothers.
That's loud.
And we don't play about each other.
That's good. That's how
Yeah.
it's supposed to be.
Like, people read me or see me and either you're gonna be intimidated or you're gonna be inspired. And
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And that's something that I had to grow into being comfortable with and okay with because
Yeah.
I can only show up and be me.
Right.
And I'm a big light. I'm a big person. And I got work to do. I'm a light. I'm going vibe. I'm going to inspire.
Mhm.
My purpose in life is to aspire to inspire. And if I can connect somebody to the light through my journey, then that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And that's more important and more relevant going into this 40 chapter.
Yeah.
Because I know more and I'm very much more confident and connected with my discernment
Yeah.
and not having to question my steps and who I am.
Yeah.
I have a base that I rely on.
Yeah.
And it's 2 things. If I have to question, like I tell my kids, we reset our family more moral compass and understanding.
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 16, 14. Let's do everything you do in love.
Come on.
And if you have to question if you're questioning your choices or your moves
Yeah.
or whatever decision you making, if it don't line up with that son, go back to the drawing board and figure it out.
Over. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just something that I wanted to leave my kids as they're maturing into young men, and
Yeah.
we're not in the presence as parents. You got to make some decisions on your own. You know what I'm saying? So having that moral basis, but not getting too far off track. But and integrity. You know what I'm saying? Understanding if it's moving me away from those two bases, then I have to question, is this for me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just going back to the family and the upbringing, when I talk about my siblings, like, they're my cheerleaders. They're my everything. I can go there, get beat up in the world, and
They're gonna love you.
they gonna tell me who I am and what I am and how beautiful I am. And I call my big sister. One way that she answered the phone, this is one of my big sisters. Hey, my beautiful baby sister.
Yeah.
Can you say it again? Hey, my beautiful baby sister.
Mm.
My other sister, Katrina, I see her. She's gone. That's my beautiful baby sis.
Yeah.
Come here. And she's very soft spoken.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll like antagonize my mom with it, because my mom, I always say, like, we just virgins of her.
Yeah.
We'll get on her, Miss Honey Sweet. But
Yeah.
I just, again, I'll be like, say it again, and I prance around
Yeah.
like a little kid. But so my point is just, when I talk about the dysfunction, it was so much love. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, my siblings, and that's how I am to them. You know,
Right.
we are each other cheerleaders.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I think when you have siblings, it gives you a sense of how to become somebody's friend, how to share. With me. So I have a well blended family. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 sisters, two brothers. You see what I'm saying? And then we count God brothers and stuff too. So it's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? So my count a little thrown off right now. But it was always love though. You know what I'm saying? It was always love. It was always character. It was always fun. I was the middle and all, but at the same time I have an older brother. But he had, at one point in time in his life, he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So that it kind of became an honorary thing. You know what I'm saying, for me. So you talked about your family and that, but you also have, what, 2 boys?
I have 2 boys. I have 2 young men.
2 young men.
Yes.
So with raising 2 young men, do you think that you're
Corey and Chase.
Corey and
Chase.
Chase, shout out both. So I always ask, because I want to know, and this is a real big thing to me when we raising kids and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So my question is always, are we giving our kids a service or a disservice? You've spoken about the morals and coming back into it. So when your kids look at you and they kind of go through your life, do you feel like you're giving them a service or a disservice in the sense of like teaching them how to dream? In what way?
I'm gonna be honest. The answer, that's a 2-part answer.
Come on.
To be real, I think if I thought that I did anything other, I would be lying. I'm always coming from serving spirit when it comes to them, because I'm your protector, I'm your nurturer.
Yeah.
I'm your provider. I'm gonna give you the tools in every aspect, mentally, physically, emotionally, stability, financially, so that you're equipped to go out here and thrive.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? But do I make mistakes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it may have been moments that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
That I was doing a disservice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And those conversations can only come about when you make room at the table for them.
Gotcha.
And you comfortable to receive what that young man has to say.
Yeah. And
we have had those conversations.
Yeah. And I've seen it, and I think it's amazing that you do talk to them in the way that you do, and you treat them as such, as men. Like the way, even with that, like you said, I'm raising men. I'm raising young men. And a lot of times we like, that's, mothers are kind of like, that's my baby.
I wasn't always there, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
that's the journey. You know what I'm saying? The destination is easy, but that is the journey, because I have a son and a daughter. When I'm dealing with my daughter, I'm firm sometimes, but I'm a soft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I'm dealing with youngster, I'm soft. And it's crazy, and I tell everybody all the time, like, he just makes me soft.
Really?
Because of the fact that he's a black man in this world. So I don't want him to go in the world and live in the world and not know what it's like to experience love. But I want my daughter to know what it's like to experience it as well. But I want my son to know it's okay to be a lover. You dig what I'm saying?
That's different.
Like I want, because he has to know, like,
what it feels like from a genuine.
Yeah, because then because we like 6 days apart. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so it's,
you get it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at him and I'm watching him as he's growing and changing. It's a little me.
Yeah.
And I watched that oldest. And it was some times that I could have did some things different. So you kind of right your wrong. So when I look at my kids, I'm like, man, I'm now giving them a better service. It was days that I worked too much or didn't work. You know, I was doing this or whipping and running the streets or whatever, or searching for love. You know, so you get lost in that, and that's okay. I seen you and your son. Y'all had like a weekend getaway, kind of like a spiritual kind of joint.
We did.
But that's like people don't. They give you tennis shoes. They don't give you that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They give you chains. They give you cars and stuff like that. But you just say, hey, come walk with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I thought that was different.
Thank you.
So 24 hours in a day. What does that look like for you?
Shit.
Go on.
Pick a day, because it ain't the same. It depends on the day. I go crazy. Like, I just had a new assistant start today.
Okay.
And I pray she stay with me.
Okay.
But that it works out and everything, because finding somebody to work for you and with you is hard.
Right.
Difficult. You know what I'm saying? 24 hours in a day. What does that look like?
Say today.
Today was a good day.
Okay, come on, good day.
Today was a good day in my Ice Cube voice. So I'm gonna wake up about 4 a.m. 4 a.m.
Beating the birds up.
Okay. Gotta get it before the dawn.
Okay.
And that's just my spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
Where I can wake up and I can truly be, into my synergy and connect with one.
Yeah.
And what I like to call is just unpack.
Yeah.
Unpack myself, organize my heart, my mind, my body, my soul, and figure out what the day need to look like. It's the first fruits to get to the higher power.
Yeah.
And allow him to align your heart and your plans. Like we go in a day knowing what's on the to-do list, the task, and what we got to do. But it's going into it with the right heart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The right mindset and thoughts. Falling into it, scripture the best way. Let my thoughts be your thoughts.
Right.
Align and correct my heart. Asking for forgiveness. And moving from that into your study time.
Gotcha.
Where you can get your word and your scripture. I like the Bible app. So if I ain't going to do any independent study aside from the Bible app, then I know the Bible app has their daily word is really dope.
It's always on time.
It's always on time.
It's always on time.
So I can rely on that to get structure with the word. Like your scripture, spokesperson breaking it down, a little more study with it, and then your prayer time. So, and then I might journal. I love journaling.
Yeah,
I like journaling.
Always have, or just something kind of more or less in the last few years?
I wouldn't say the last few years. I would say more like I lost my twin brother at 26.
Yeah,
we'll be 40 March 1st. So really shortly after him, he was a big journaler. And I think my mom is a poet writer, and he was, and one of my other sisters. And I think I just I always had it, but I really embodied it. After that, so really, about this last 14 years.
Got you.
And so so on a good day, get that morning miracle morning in is what I call it.
Right.
That me time where I ain't got to give myself to the world first. I can be selfish with me and sort through my heart and my core and who I am and how I'm about to go into this world and this journey. That's beautiful. Sometimes it's exercising. So all this is happening before dawn hits.
Right.
The beautiful thing about the time of year that we in now, it comes a lot later.
Right. Right.
You got to about that 7 o'clock before that light start creeping through that blind.
Yeah.
And and I might fall back to sleep for a second, get my son up, and so once he's off, come back, start getting dressed, and moving, pushing to my day. So it just depends on what's on the schedule from there,
Right.
and keep it moving. And typically, I'm in bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Oh my
Golden
man.
girl.
Man, listen, 227. So I heard you talk about the, saying everything before the dawn. But do you, besides that part, and saying talking to God and everything, do you make sure that you get that hour of silence?
Oh yes.
Like
so
what,
all that's in there.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like so. I mean, I know that is that
Yeah.
in the morning, right?
Yeah.
That's that what you said. That would be you where you said that's your silence.
Solitude is, oh my God, that's like my best friend. Before I was gonna pick Hawaii, I was gonna say Oklahoma. Me and
Okay.
my boys met my best friend on a family trip back in September
Yeah,
at the cabins down in Oklahoma.
it was nice.
Oh my God, one of the best, quaint, quiet vacations. I love solitude. I'm the type, I can ride in a car with no music. I can be in a house with no TV. I really don't watch TV. I can. So you talked about our spiritual retreat.
Yeah,
So we did a dark stay.
yeah.
And when I tell people about that, and I don't want to jump into it too early, but
Yeah.
when I
Go
tell
ahead.
people about that, they like, dark stay? What is a dark? You got to sit in the dark quiet for 24 hours minimum.
So okay,
I love solitude.
So when you were going, when you're doing that, you and your son, right,
Mhm.
and y'all sitting in that moment, are you like, is he already kind of mentally prepared for what you're trying to, or is he kind of, he don't really know what to expect, and you kind of talking him through it?
We ain't in it together. We're in our
Right.
total separate cabins,
Yeah,
like tiny homes.
yeah,
So on the journey preparing it, and let me say this, because shout out to my son Corey Jr. He dope. I have learned some things about my child these last 5 months or so,
Mhm.
and I got an awesome son. Like, I love him. I love his laid backness. I love his personality. So when I came to him, it was his birthday, and we were really coming out of we were still kind of there, a tough time.
right,
The way that I had chose to move through it this time was very different than before. Going back to what I said earlier, I was gonna do everything in love.
yeah,
So no matter what he did, I knew that God continues to love me,
right,
and I knew that God continues to forgive me.
right.
So even though we had tough moments,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I could be hurt,
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna let that emotion win.
gotcha.
So when I came to him, it was around his birthday.
Yeah,
And we were at a place where very clearly, and anybody would be like, oh, shit, better than me because I wouldn't spend nothing on him. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't expect nothing because he knew where we were at.
right.
But just the love that you got for your child, like how God got love for us.
Come on,
You want to
come on.
give them something. And I said, hey, I started sending them links to different retreats. And I was like, hey, I'm thinking about, I'm about to go on one of these retreats. Would you want to do something like this with me? And so he slowly responded. And he ended up responding and was like, yeah. And I said, okay, well, check them out and let me know which one you like. So initially we was going to go away in South Carolina.
Gotcha.
And I got to think that what I was looking for and what I wanted to take away from this experience,
Right.
packing, to unpack, to pack, to come back,
Yeah.
it was going to interrupt it.
Okay.
And I didn't want to, I wanted to save that space and experience it fully, authentically, and not have to go through that journey of unpacking and packing.
Right.
So I found something a little bit more local, closer, and I sent him that one. And it was very different. And I said, hey, take a look at it and let me know if you want to. He
Right.
said, yeah. So we booked it. So it was a first-time experience for us both. So
Right.
we were going in this together.
Yeah.
And so the guy who leads the retreat, he's awesome. Very awesome with explaining it and setting the tone that you're leading this. So he doesn't give you a lot of tools other than look inward.
Mm-hmm.
But, explaining and understanding what that looks like, what that feels like. Of course, I know,
Right.
but making sure that he understood. We did some breath work prior to going in.
Gotcha.
And so that was awesome and beautiful because it helped prepare the relaxation and the whole body
Yeah.
falling into solitude and relaxing and preparing for whatever experience you allow to happen here is gonna happen.
Gotcha.
So if you're not ready, if you hold back, your internal spirit is not gonna allow you to go any further than what you can.
Gotcha.
So it was a great experience so he did his breath work first, of course. So really answering your question, I don't want to get too far off. Preparing him, I just let it kind of follow my heart and my spirit to let us go into this organically and experience it. So Corey's both my boys are really laid back, really quiet, respectful, gonna go with the flow type of people. So if they have questions, they gonna ask. He didn't ask a lot, which showed me like he was really...
He wanted to know it for himself.
He wanted to know it for himself, and he's really a deep connected individual.
Yeah.
So he went in there like a champ.
Yeah.
So
how were you doing your 24?
I knew what I was looking for.
Gotcha.
I didn't know how to get it. So my revelation didn't come to me until I was in there.
Gotcha.
And I knocked. So you got a ring doorbell. You can. And remind you blindfolded the whole time.
I seen that.
Pitch dark.
I seen that.
Pitch dark.
So you just kind of feeling?
Feeling. If you take the blindfold off, you can't see either.
Yeah.
Now, people who sitting there like, man, that's like going to the hole. Why would you want to go to the hole?
Yeah.
This one guy inboxed me and was like, yeah, that's cool, and I can understand what you get from it. But it remind me of when I was in prison.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And it does.
Mm-hmm.
Which I always say, in prison, you're locked up, but your mental ain't. And it's all how you use that to your advantage. But anywho, so when I got in there, they have a cabinet you can open up if you make your way to the front, feel your way around, and it's a ring doorbell. So 24 hours, you can reach out if you need assistance or anything. And you can unlock the door. So that's the beautiful thing is I have the power of knowing I can go out this door if I'm
Yeah.
So everything is significant with the power of choice.
Now that's like what the power of choice.
So that message came strong to me in there.
Yeah.
So I called Brian, that's the guy name, and I said, hey, I got to give my son a message.
Yeah.
And so this is why, I say like Brian is just, people have callings.
Right.
And they in positions and places to do holistic healing. And anybody can pick up a tool and say this is what I do or certify, but I really could feel connected that Brian was in his right position. He wasn't just doing this as a fancy title in modern day medicine to say, look at me or whatever.
Yeah.
So I called him. I said, hey, I need to give my son a message. He's like, well, what is it? He's like, I said, I just want to tell him I didn't set the intentions on what to expect or how to really go into this.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I understand, I think I need to let him know. And he just encouraged me to let it be. And he said, I can tell you the energy exchange between you guys is very strong out here and it's very present.
Yeah.
He said, if you wish and I must, I will. But I think it's best that I don't interrupt whatever's happening in his space.
That's cool.
And I received it.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
I seen it. I was super proud of this, and like I said, just of the fact of being able to teach, because you look at like COVID, it came through and it made us all sit at home. The economy the way it is now, recession, you got to pick and choose. I think sometimes it's good to remind each other that being at peace is the best thing that you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
I think because when we get into a place of it and we moving every day, everywhere, every which way, you got something going on every hour. And a lot of times when you sit back into it, it's scary. It can be, you know what I'm saying? To know that we live our lives based off of
not being present.
That's it. Like we always on the it's just weird. And I think now where I'm at in my life, I'll be 38 this year. I'll be 39. Let me stop. I'll be 39 this year. I finally came to a place that I understand that it's okay to sit at home. And I'm talking about my guy behind the lens, he used to be like, bro, you ain't got to go. Because I used to leave from here. We used to shoot on Wednesdays, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to run to the juke, two-step, and move around. And go I was anybody would call. Mm-hmm. I was always there.
Extending yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when I finally got into a place in one moment, I was riding, and God was like, "Hey, man, listen, you're doing the most, but if you just sit back for a few months, I'm gonna show you what you're missing out on." And so when it happened so thorough, and it was so quick because I just stopped calling people, and I stopped being available. And when I was doing it, it was hurting because I was wondering, like, hey, bro, am I hurting this person's feelings? Am I this and that? Am I acting funny? You know, because that's the first thing they're gonna say. But he was like, nah, in this season, man, I don't, like I told you last year that I didn't want you to fix everybody's problems. Now I don't want you to fix your problems with temporary. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of stuff was temporary. I'm coming home the next day and I'm opening up my pocket and I'm looking at receipts and I'm like, bro, I've done all this with this and that, but you can't call these people when you're going through because they be like, hey, bro, you supposed to have the answers. Or they're like, hey, man, I'm busy right now. So you got to go back to where your help is. So I think that's dope. When you look at life and the things that you've been through, you know, so like you said, you lost your brother, and
my best friend.
You know what I'm saying? But I like when you was talking earlier, you said we'll be 40 this year. So the fact that you keep the memory going and everything like that, what motivates you to be that way?
I ain't got no choice but to keep going. I got too many people looking at me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got too many people riding on my wins.
Yeah.
And not in a sense of, you know, like leeching or they hand out. You know, you got your people you support and you're responsible for.
Facts.
But I've always been a pioneer. I paved the way. You know, and I don't mean that with arrogance. I just, again, understanding who I am and whose I am and what I'm here for. Anything I go through is to be used as a weapon, as a testimony to help not only empower me and inscript me on the journey to go forward, but those behind me.
Yeah.
And that's nieces, nephews, family, audience members.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said early on, either you're going to be inspired or intimidated. So I got people watching for the right reasons and the wrong reasons. I always say you got 3 type of people.
What's those?
You got your advocates.
Yeah.
Who is your cheerleaders and ain't going nowhere.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? They going to be there. Right, wrong, and different. They going to cross over with you. You got your supporters. Supporters change. So I can reach this level and I may have exceeded where you thought I should be or how you see me.
Yeah.
And you got your haters.
Yeah.
All 3 of those are relevant.
Uh-huh.
You can't get rid of them. They gonna have a seat at any table in the audience. No matter where you at, what you doing, how you doing, and who you doing it with. So when you aware and you understand who you are and whose you are, I can now move accordingly around these corners. If that makes sense.
No, yeah.
So when you ask me what motivates me or what keeps me is when it comes to Carlton and Carletta, I mean, I got his name on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I got his legacy on my back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got people looking at me. I got my mama. You know what I'm saying? So I got my father. I got my siblings. Like I don't come from a small personality where you got a mediocre self yourself down.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how not to.
How
you know
not
what I'm
to,
saying?
yeah.
I don't know how not to. And I get a kick out of being great.
Come on.
So, I mean, I like wins. Is it uncomfortable at times? Yeah. You know, is it struggles? Heck yeah. You know, do I quit? Yeah. Do I want to quit? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I can't. You know, my conversations with God has been like, I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
Not me, find somebody else.
Right.
Or this hurts. Why I got to, you know.
Why I got to do it.
Why I got to do it or why they got to treat me like that.
Definitely.
Why they got to feel this way about, you know.
Right.
I've been hurt. I've been hurt by people. I'm low-key scared of people.
Wow.
I'm low-key scared of people. I'm low-key scared of people because they be weird. People are weird, baby. But they are weird. And it's so scary because this 40 chapter, oh my God, I'm so woke.
Yeah.
People are so weird. My discernment is so heightened. It has increased so much, and I pray for this.
Yeah.
It was a period last year where I felt like I lost me, when you talked about God sitting you down
Mm-hmm.
and allowing you to be present again for yourself,
Yeah.
for you and him,
Yeah.
that connection, that reconnection. And that's what I went into the dark state looking for.
Yeah.
I needed to connect with my spirit again.
Yeah.
I couldn't feel it. I couldn't hear her voice. I didn't know what she felt like.
Gotcha.
And I felt so disconnected to me, like I had been giving myself to everybody else.
Come on.
And I'm self-serving everybody else.
Come on.
And I don't got nothing left for me. And I ain't never felt like that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what it was like to be, connected, even when you didn't understand and you didn't know what that was. I always knew that. And I was like, I can't go like this no more.
Right.
I'm tired.
Right.
I'm at capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on a journey of just acting out loud. You know what I'm saying? And so that 2022 was, man,
Right.
that was a year.
No, and I do get you with the weird, because I be like, me and my guy, we talk about it a lot. I talk with everybody else, and I be thinking I be tripping a lot of times,
I ain't questioning me no more. It ain't me, it's them.
And that used to be my thing. That used to be my spiel. Like it ain't me. I thought it was me. I'm like, well, maybe I got to change this, and maybe I got to stop doing this, and maybe I'm expecting too much, or maybe I'm this. Now I did lower my expectations, but raise my standards. Now I did because you get so we set false narratives for people in our lives, whether relationship, friendship, situationship, business partners, whatever. In relationships, and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be this. Love is supposed to look like this. A relationship is supposed to be like this. You're programmed to go to work and do this and provide and do this. But a lot of times the roles, like I tell everybody all the time, we living in a time now where these roles are outdated in the rules. And when you start looking at certain things and you start seeing it, you're like, bro, I don't want to do that. And I don't want nobody to have to confine to just being this, because I don't want nobody barefoot in the kitchen. I want you to be your own person. I want you to be your own voice. I want you to have that love for yourself. That self-love is love that you can't buy that nowhere. And if you're not already healed, it's nothing that I can do.
And you can't put a value on my self-love.
Right. But that was you have to bring it up. But that was the thing that really got me. You see what I'm saying? Because I thought I could. I really thought in my mind, in my heart of hearts, I'm like, oh, I can do this and I can change a person and I can do that. And I'm talking about some of my friends. And some of my friends now, they be like, bro, like, I got something. I'm like, bro, you got to go to God. You got to go to wherever you believe. You got to deal with it. I can't fix it for you. Because if me fixing it for you is going to turn out to be something later on, it's going to be like, well, it was your fault.
Yeah.
And then the blame will be on you. You see what I'm saying? So once I got to that part of it, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do this no more. Like, so it was definitely that. And then when you said I'm being weird, I don't think it's just being weird. I think it's really the alignment of you getting out of your comfort. You see what I'm saying? They like that for a reason. Even supporters, right? Sometimes you say, hey, I'm doing this pod. I say, hey, can y'all share this? These are my friends.
Yeah.
They ain't really supposed to. And it took me a while to understand. Like, they already know the person I am. It's on for me to introduce myself to the world and everybody else in a more grand thing, and then have this platform so people can come and sit down and have conversations, right? And when they having the conversation, they get a chance to feel like, hey, I matter in the sense of who I am, but not what I bring to the table.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, bringing everything,
the human piece, the
very
person.
much so. Like, you bring it to the table and lay it here. The world's still going on around us, of course, or whatnot. But the fact of the matter is, like, me as a whole, this is what I am. The days that I don't have a haircut, the days that I don't have the best clothes on, or I'm not styling the way that you want me to style me, I'm still a person.
Right.
I'm still going through
By the
my
way,
own
I got
stuff.
dressed for you today. Because I run around be looking a mess.
But see, that's what I am. But where I'm at now, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. But where I'm at now, I'm the same. I'm like comfort. And when it's time to put it on, we'll put it on. And when it's time not to, it's cool.
Cool.
But it was one of those things that I had to learn. I had to learn that if you extend yourself and you're always in the stores buying this stuff because you worried about how people gonna perceive you when you walk in the door, they don't really care about that.
They don't.
And when they're honest with themselves, you'll know they don't care about it. Because a lot of times the simplest pieces and the simplest things, they'll be like, oh man, you did that, or you know what I'm saying? Because you're thinking I gotta go extreme. It ain't even about that. You see what I'm saying? So I definitely think that when it comes to relationships, right? As much as you care to share, what's your views on where we are in this world, like as far as relationships? What do you think is where we at? when it comes into that?
Relationship.
Yeah. The old people call it courting.
Okay, so
steady.
you talking about that type of
Yeah.
relationship? Because my mind is like, okay, it's broad. Just
Yeah, we're gonna get that part
relationship.
too. But
So
in
courting, dating, exclusively, all that type of stuff.
yeah, like what
They
do
don't
you
fit. Yeah,
what do you
okay.
think is lacking?
I think for one, let me just say this.
Okay.
In my market,
Okay.
it's a shortage
Okay.
of men.
Why?
Prison,
That's a good way to look at it.
graveyard,
That's a good way to look at it.
and it's more women to the number of
That's facts.
one man.
That's facts.
So I feel, and from my own personal experiences with dating, women accept a lot less, which makes it difficult. You talked about adjusting your expectations and standards. It makes it difficult for somebody like me where you might consider my standards or expectations too high when I ain't got to go through all these ropes or I ain't got to deal with all this. You're extra.
Yeah.
You a lot. That's like it's, you a lot.
You're a
You're a
lot.
lot to deal with. You're a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that within itself, the courting, is jacked up. It's off the modality of it is off track. You know what I'm saying?
Will it ever get back on track? Is it coming back around anytime soon? You think our kids will get it? Maybe your youngest? You think they'll get it? Because they falling in love and it's like, yeah, they like head over heels. Like, I don't know, I'm ready right now type. So
I'm ready, but
I think we all are. So
I'm ready.
So when I look at it, I definitely think that you guys have to accept. Y'all do have to take the lesser, and I think that's not fair.
And I'm not.
But that's perfectly fine. But I think too, as men,
now I compromise. Go ahead.
No. Without
Where
a
I
doubt.
need to compromise at, but
there you go. So I definitely agree with what in part of it. But I think it's a two-way street.
How?
Because when I look at some things that men doing and how they set themselves aside, you're buying her and you don't even know her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying.
But is that new for men?
No,
that's not new.
No, but it's just at a rapid. And then now you have social media that shows it. So then we compare our relationships based off of what we see
online.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the true fact is, it's a lot of people on TV
faking,
and they going through
showboating.
Like I'm talking about, like barely making it. And it was because I was married before. You see what I'm saying? But once I learned it, I have a better understanding of it now. It ain't what your grandma and them used to deal with. It ain't what your mom and daddy and them did. It's what you gonna deal with. And when you set yourself aside and you say, hey, these are my morals, these are my values, I'm not backing out for this, is that men don't have a problem with courting. They have to court. The right person has to make them.
Have to make them court.
And I'm not saying make them in a forceful way, but if they
establish that expectation out the gate.
But even that, as a man, I'm here to tell you, when you know the one. Okay. You know if it's seasonal. You know if it's for today, if it's for tonight. You know if it's for longevity. You know if you can see yourself having kids with them. And that don't mean nothing nowadays, because then when you got it, it's just kids ain't enough.
Yeah.
Love ain't enough.
Yeah.
You have to see the person that's going to make you better.
The heart.
On both sides.
Yeah.
So you have to have somebody that's going to push you out your element and make you uncomfortable and make you not be like, okay, that's fine. Even if he's giving you the world.
Yeah.
It's on him to pour into you. It's on her to pour into you and make you better. And never ever like take jabs.
Yeah.
I think we live in a world now where we take jabs. If we don't get our way, oh man, you got me messed up. You let Stacy, you know what I'm saying? How the movie got, you know what I'm saying? Or you let, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We quick to do that.
Yeah.
And I was guilty of it like last season. I was just kind of like, hey man, bro, I gotta court you and do all this, but the dude before you was like putting
that ain't fair. See, that ain't right.
But I'm telling you,
just like how you said, y'all know.
Yeah,
we know too.
Right.
What category, what lane do I want to put this brother in?
This is
do
true.
I even want to deal with him? Why are you even stepping to me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it bad that men are starting to feel like that?
Like, that we got options that we can place out where we want to belong.
That too, or why you?
I always been headed like that.
But like, why you like certain men feel like, hey, that you not on my level.
You're not in my level.
You're not even in my classroom.
Is it bad that y'all feel like that?
Men feel like that.
No.
Okay, because you hear some people say that, like, they, hey, bro, you acting like a female. You want to be, and I think men should be courted.
I agree.
Uh-huh.
I agree, but I think what the approach to it is out of whack.
Explain.
I don't agree with a male coming to me expecting me to give of myself prior to you courting me, dating me, and allow me to get in that space with you, because I am the queen. I'm the prize here. So my thinking may be a little jacked up.
Yeah.
And I have realized, okay, Carletta, there's some things that you could do different, but I can't. That's my makeup.
Yeah.
So I expect to be dated. I like that. I like chivalry.
Yeah.
And because I have dated men that produce that and don't have an issue with that, I know that I don't gotta settle for that. So what are we talking about here?
Right.
Now you putting yourself over here, you shooting for over here, but bro, you cool. I like you. We good.
Yeah.
Stop trying to go in a lane that you can't fit in.
You ain't even supposed to be able to.
You ain't even supposed to. And your makeup, you saying that ain't okay. Cool. We ain't gotta argue over it. Because I'm not hard up. I'm not desperate.
Yeah.
I may have liked you, but you just turned all that off.
Right.
Because these are things that later down the road I know is gonna be a compromise for me that I'm not gonna want to compromise on.
Got you.
I want to be dated.
No, and that was where I was going with it. I think that if we set that up and we say that now. And like you said in the beginning, you say, "Hey, these are my bottom lines."
Yeah.
And stand on them.
Yeah.
I read a book a long time ago called The Way of a Superior Man, and I really believe it. If you can be easily put off your pivot, you'll forever be put off your pivot. And if she's not a real woman, she'll use that against you.
Yeah.
Because she knows she can always stroke your ego a certain kind of way just to get whatever. So I don't think I don't want no bag. I don't want no guys.
Your ego.
Yeah, like she gonna stroke your ego and say, "Oh, it's good, it's woo," and get what she want out the situation. And then 30 days from now, you'll have another conversation, and you'll find yourself overextending yourself for stuff that you knew you couldn't do in the beginning.
But most men, I feel like, because we're broken people, and we don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. I'm guilty of it. I've been in unhealthy relationships.
Yeah.
Men will sign up for that because you guys are natural pursuers.
Correct.
And so what that looks like is always the same thing, even though it's not healthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you're angry or mad that you're getting the same result, but you came to that woman the same way you came
to the last one.
To the last one.
And I do agree. I think that men have to. No two women are the same. No two men are the same. But I think we take so much baggage from our past that we don't allow ourselves time enough to heal.
That's where I was
before we get into it. You see what I'm saying? We bounce back and forth. We're my biggest thing was being alone. That was my big, and I'm super.
That was my 2022.
Like I don't want to be alone.
Who do? It's tough.
You know what I'm saying?
But I love it.
But like, and it was one of those moments where you like, bro, I got to sit in this house by myself.
I'm celibate.
And it's nothing wrong with it.
At all.
It's nothing wrong with it. And I think when you get into that with certain guys, and if they can handle it, they can handle it. And if they can't, they can't. But I mean, I can speak for myself. In the past, I've waited years for a person because I felt like that was the person.
Yeah.
I waited. Like, that ain't all we have, because I used to feel like, and being very transparent, a lot of dudes owe me some thank you notes. Because of
already.
Yeah, I taught you how to love. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I taught you what it looked like to do this. I was a hopeless romantic. I'm chivalry. I'm holding doors. I'm this. I'm that. And I believe anybody that interacts with you on any kind of level, on a romantic level, intimate level like that, if they don't end up being the person at the end of the race with you, they have to go away from you to have something where the next person gets them saying, "Okay, you prepared them." You see what I'm saying? And it's a couple people owe me some thank you cards. And I believe I owe some other people some thank you cards as far as women that I've came across, and they were dope individuals. You see what I'm saying? I just wasn't ready.
Right.
I just wasn't ready.
Yeah. And women, we have those experiences too. I have had that experience. And you got to be honest. You got to be in an honest place in your life where you're comfortable and you're okay with accepting the truth about you.
Yeah.
When it comes to that intimacy space.
Yeah.
Am I a whole person
to
go into a situation with another whole person?
Yeah.
Or any individual?
Yeah.
But when it comes to whole people, if I'm pursued by somebody who's a little bit better,
got you,
than where I am,
is that good?
Can I complete this person? Am
Yeah.
I ready to be a part of that chapter with that person, or could I be damaging? You know what I'm saying? Bringing
Yeah.
baggage and a lot of misfortunes to the
Yeah.
situation. And I think that it takes a woman to be completely honest in that space where I'm ready to
Come on.
accept
Yeah.
the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent about me
Yeah.
and sit in it. That's uncomfortable. When we talk about solitude,
Yeah.
sit in that and deal with your shit, sus.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but to be completely honest, it's a lot of women like that. I do believe we go through the chapters a lot more than you guys do,
Yeah.
where we will sit in it, but we avoid it too. We
Yeah.
avoid it too. I do think that we will sit in it a lot quicker than what you guys is what I'm saying.
Fact.
But yeah, it's a lot of broken people running around here and trying to make whole plates. And
Come
you
on.
missing about 5 pieces
Come on.
in a cracked dish, and you over here trying to make it look good and
Come
make it
on.
like you got it all together and
Yeah.
you the right fit for this brother. Get out the way so somebody else can come in.
So no, like I feel that way on both sides. So I definitely agree. You put a good point to it.
And I like how you said you made a great woman. You helped prepare her.
I don't think it's no woman that I've ever been with that I didn't prepare in some kind of way.
But that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, but I have sisters, right?
Yeah.
And so when I'm talking to them, I'm raw and uncut.
I recently had this conversation with my ex.
See how it worked?
And I said, you know what? If this means me having to feel what I feel for you to be a better person and ready for the next woman,
Yeah.
I just hope and pray that you seen and respect and acknowledge the work that I did.
Yeah.
And if that's the only outcome,
Yeah.
that's the only outcome.
That's good.
And vice versa.
I'll tell you very transparently. My claim to fame, this was my words.
Okay.
And let's just be friends and enjoy the moment. Because at the end of this, if it works, whether it don't work, I don't never want you to hate me and I don't want you to hate me. Let's fall in love with the moment. You know, so we'll brace the movement later on. But hey, I just want to be your friend forever though. So it was hard a lot of times because I knew certain people wasn't gonna stay around. No matter, you can love the hell out of them. I'm talking about like you'd be like, man, she dope. And then there was some women that I'm like, man, I don't even want to deal with that because you can see, like you said, discernment. My discernment back then was like it come with a lot of baggage. She ain't unpacked. Not even daddy issue, mama issues, self issues. I hadn't unpacked my mother issues and my dad issues as well. But as you start seeing different things and you see people unpacking this thing, man, you'd be surprised because I love it. I love to see people that I've had seasons with and I see them grow. Like that gives me chills because I'm like, bro, it's still a chance.
Yeah.
When I see women and they go on and get married or they go on and be able to be dope people, I just want to be able to say, I'm glad that you let me share your moments.
Right.
You know,
right.
those moments with you.
Right.
Whatever it looked like, however
Be a
it looked
part of
like.
that.
Yeah, because you get lost in it. You know what I'm saying? When you look at
you watered the garden.
definitely. When you look at the younger you, what would you tell the younger you at the age you at now? Let's say 18, 24. What would you say? What would you say to Ms. Temple? What would you say to her? What would you say to her?
That was probably 2 different people.
I know, but what would you say now that you know what you know?
18 to 25 was 2 different.
I mean, we can say 18. We can say 29.
Yeah. So, at the 18 version,
What would you tell the 18-year-old?
I would tell the 18-year-old, you got this.
You got it.
I love you.
Come on.
I love you.
Come on.
It ain't nothing about you that I would change.
Yeah.
You keep going. You keep ticking. Because at 18, I had my own place. I changed my birth certificate at 16.
Come on, man. Come on. We got to do what we got to do.
I was coming off of being a fugitive. I was on a run.
Okay. We got to talk about it. We're going to talk about it just a quick second. Go ahead.
But that 18-year-old, I had to make her proud on the inside, and I would tell her, thank you. Okay. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the tenacity.
Yeah.
I would honestly tell her thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for not quitting.
Cool.
Thank you for keep going and achieving what you felt like you needed at that time.
Gotcha. And then the 20 year in
The,
that.
the 24, 29.
Yeah.
24. 24 was a good time in my life. I had, I had my second son.
Mm-hmm.
Me and their dad was still together.
Okay.
I would tell that 24-year-old, we had was doing good in real estate. I wouldn't tell that 24-year-old nothing. Let me go. I think she was
cool.
Shit.
She was
Yeah,
she
she
was
had it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would tell that 29-year-old because it was after I lost my brother.
Mm-hmm.
I was going into my 30s,
Mm-hmm.
and that was right around the time that me and my kid's dad had split up for the last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell her, if I knew what I knew now, stick it out.
Come on.
I would have told her to stick it out.
Work through it.
Work through it.
So do you feel like that's the one that got away? Not in the entirety, but in that, what you just said.
In the sense of love wasn't an issue because we had love.
Come on.
We didn't have the tools.
Come on.
And so I realized if I could have been a bit more groomed in the sector of being patient with that man,
Come on.
I could have had an awesome chapter right now.
So do
Different
you?
chapter.
So okay, that's good. We got to stay there real quick.
Yeah.
So no,
You're getting excited.
because I think we have no patience.
We don't. And I had agreed that relationship. I told you I was gonna give it to you
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah. I think we have no patience, and I think the reason why we don't have any patience because it's the fear of the unknown. We want to plan our lives, and instead of allowing the life to be. And I will tell you, the 18-year-old me, slow down. You ain't everybody's cup of tea. And some of the women too old for you.
Ooh, brother. It's like you was messing with cougars.
I was my experimenting with the world, as they would say, as the old saints would say, it was early.
Okay.
But it ain't cute.
Yeah.
I don't glorify it at all. It was young.
Yeah.
I'm barely 11, 12.
Wow.
Yeah. So you seen a lot of things and you grew up so fast and you didn't have to.
Yeah.
So by the time I came to 18, love looked so different to me. I was ready to play bonus daddy to anybody. You got kids? It don't matter. 28, 30, 50? Like, it didn't matter. Because I was in my own bag. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because I wanted love so bad. You see what I'm saying? When I got to my 20s, I would have told me, like, hey, bro, it's okay. Like, no, it's okay. Like, you got to cry.
Wow.
You have to open up and you have to be able to allow people to show you who they are.
Yeah.
And you got to be vocal in saying that you're not okay.
Yeah.
With certain things that people do to you, in certain way they treat you. You sweep everything under the rug. And now you didn't lift this rug up and you didn't sweep everything underneath this mug. It's a hill. Plus it's a hole down there where all this dirt is up on top of it and you just steady stepping on it every other day. You see what I'm saying? And when it came to relationships,
brokenness.
I was, but I didn't realize it. Out of my friend group, I was the one you called for all the answers.
So you thought you had it together.
I did.
Yeah.
I thought I had it all together. You see what I'm saying? But I think that's so amazing because a lot of women won't say, a lot of people won't say, like, bro, a lot of women won't. I could have been a little bit more patient with him.
Yeah.
Or I could have been a little patient with her. So I think that's live.
Yeah, I should have been. And this is something that, I have had 2 serious relationships since him.
Yeah.
I've talked to different dudes, but giving myself, I don't play that.
All right.
So these are conversations that I've had with both of them.
Yeah.
But I'm big on being friends. You got to be my friend. I got to be able to be honest with you and share if something's bothering me or I'm going through something. Because at the end of the day, my kids is always our common denominator tied to that. But my last relationship, he's my best friend.
Yeah.
And we would have conversations about this. And I was honest, recently honest, I think I finally grieved
Come on.
my relationship with my kid's father.
Come on.
And I was the one who left.
Come on.
I think a lot of men will stay
Come on.
even when it's broken.
Yeah.
Because, just going to the family aspect and the black family within itself,
Yeah.
we don't know nothing else.
That's it.
And I think men don't always see themselves as value first,
At all.
and the woman does first.
Yeah.
So we'll shake up the dynamics and make some changes before the man will.
Facts.
And I just think we were young. I was 17 when I met my kid's father.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be with the person I had kids with. Never wanted to be with anybody else. Typical black person story.
I'm about to say
coming
they
up.
a woman. Don't say woman because that's men.
That's men too. Now we shared that.
Yeah.
I mean, our come up and building our careers, we started together. I was 20 when I got blessed with working in the mortgage industry, and by 24, we had 5 real estate investments and our own house and our 2 kids, and we had an awesome support system. I just think as we grew and matured, we wasn't maturing on communication.
Come on.
Our communication was off.
Come on.
We didn't know how to communicate with one another, we didn't know how to talk to each other's love language. We didn't even know what that was and how to articulate that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I can only speak for me. We had got past them years where you cheated and all of that. We didn't have those issues.
Yeah.
So when I tell the story about me and my kid's father, our issue was just our communication. It was us.
Yeah.
We went to bed in the home. One fall asleep upstairs in the bed first. The other one gonna sleep on the couch. Avoidance. You know what I'm saying? So on the outside, it looked good.
Yeah.
And we handled it. You know what I'm saying? But I had got to the place where I'm like, damn, is this love? Is this how I want? Because our kids is getting older. So it was like, is this how I want my kids to think that love is supposed to go and a household is supposed to be, ran? And I ain't gonna lie, I remember praying like, okay, God, take me out of this.
Yeah.
Remove me from this. I felt so connected because that's my family.
Right.
And so confused by that because I just wasn't happy and I didn't know how to find my happiness and be connected with my family. Does that make sense? It was like, I know my happiness has a place here.
Got you.
And I can't be everything I want to be without it.
Yeah.
How does that work? And so that's why I say, like, we just didn't have the right tools.
Yeah.
And even if I said people to tell us, because people probably did tell me, but I didn't listen or I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? We just didn't have the right tools. So I felt like when God released me and said, you can go, he also told me you was going to go through something, but I didn't know what that was.
Right.
I didn't know what that looked like. All I knew was I felt like I got released. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was ugly
Was
for
it
years.
Was it immediately where you like, dang, I kind of shouldn't have done it?
No, this, to be honest with you, this has like revelation has kind of came up over the years.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? And I would kind of sweep it under the rug.
Come on. Yeah.
Not deal with it.
Ooh, you big good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And be like, nah, because we were still in that ugly place on our communication. Because I made the best decision.
Yeah.
I'm good,
Come
whatever.
on. That's
you know what I'm
good.
saying? But me and him, we always had this connection.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? I remember when he had his daughter, he felt like it was the worst thing. He loved his daughter.
Right.
Don't get it twisted.
Got you.
But I remember he said, I'll never get her back now. Because we only had 2 kids together. We didn't have kids with nobody else.
Got you.
So what we understood and what we dealt with each other, that was our family. That's how we dealt with it. And I remember it just kind of made him feel like I broke the dynamic.
Got you.
And if there ever was a chance, and I'm like, I love his daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we weren't together.
Yeah.
And I'm coming out of my relationship. Nigga,
Gotcha.
I'm hurt over this.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I wasn't even in that place. And like I said early on, because I grew up with my siblings, ain't no half.
Got you.
We don't know that. That's my sister. That's my brother, period, point blank.
Right.
You bleed, I bleed. You hurt, I hurt. You win, I win. You
Okay.
lose, I lose. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I wanted for my sons and their sister. And she's crazy about their brothers, and they're crazy about their sister.
That's dope.
So, just over the years, it was something that I probably swept underneath the rug.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And this is why I say, like, shout out to my ex. He was he's my best friend because I could have these real conversations.
I think that's what's missing in a lot of relationships. We're not friends.
Yeah.
Or we worry about if I'm truly transparent with this
Mm-hmm.
person, how they're going to look at me or how they're going to take it or how they're going to feel about what I'm saying. Are they going to take it as that I'm lesser, especially with men. When you give your vulnerability and you open, it can be used against you later on wherever you like.
And it wasn't, let me be clear, because it wasn't in a sense of I had regrets.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that or I wanted to go back. It was going through challenges with my boys or moments that I dreamed about. And I've always wanted them to feel the connection between mom and dad, and both of us being able to be present for these moments. It would be those things where my heart would hurt and I would be like, I interrupted this and took this from my kids.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
And that's how that would, it would come about. So I would deal with that and get in those places. So I could not be transparent with my partner.
Right.
Because it would weigh on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I needed to be honest and release that and have a safe place. So going back to like journaling, I wrote him a letter one year about 2019. I never gave it to him because I wanted him to know he was enough. Yeah. And it wasn't that he wasn't enough. It was I didn't know enough about me. Yeah. And he didn't know enough about him, and we just didn't have the tools.
No, I can.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been there, writing letters and everything.
Yeah. And so just fast forward, and like I said, 2022 was my year of dealing with a lot of stuff. Yeah. Being present for myself. Yeah. Sitting still, not just going like the Energizer Bunny and giving on myself. Allowing God to be still and know that I am God is what the scripture that came up in my heart a lot. Mm-hmm. Being in that place, I was able to grieve. Mm-hmm. And that was one situation that I had to grieve, and I wanted to let it go and not convict myself. Because I convicted myself, you know what I'm saying, a lot because of those moments. And going through raising boys is difficult. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult. So, yeah, I didn't want that. And in this 40 chapter, I'm not taking nothing. Yeah. Nothing old, no pain, no stones, no sticks and stones, right. no problems, no issue, no money. You keep it, got it, you win.
Got you. Now you said something about being a fella, or you was a fugitive.
I wasn't a felon, nah.
A fugitive. You was running.
Yeah.
What was going on?
Like you said, I lived a fast life at an early age. I was exposed to a lot.
Respect.
Yeah, I was exposed to a lot. I grew up in the era where we was shallow.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't look a certain way, okay, you didn't have your hair done, nails done, wear certain clothes.
Well, you wasn't in the French roll era. You was after that though, right?
I was in the French roll era
with the buttons on the joint. Cut it out.
Yeah, and with the the donkey ponytail where you would wear it straight up.
Come on, yeah.
90s. I'm 83, baby.
I'm 84. Okay. Yeah. So, what's your dreams?
My dreams.
As they come, as you get into 40, what's your dreams? What's some dreams that you have? Like just maybe one or two.
I had to redefine my purpose. I think sometimes we think that our purpose is just forever. Yeah. And that's not true. Yes. It changes. My why has changed. Okay. So when we talk about dreams, I don't know all of how. Mm-hmm. I know some things that I'm gonna do. Yeah. But the big picture, yes, when it comes to legacy and creating that big picture, is bigger than me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about me. So how I look at it is like, you got the sky, you got this big old cloud, and that's the big picture. That's the goal. That's what we hiking up to. Yeah. And you got all these different roads to get there. At some point on a journey, I'm going to touch all them roads. I may not know what's all on the lane, but that's what I'm going to have to do to get there and fulfill it. So a woman that wear many hats, and many callings, be a part of many destinations, many things, creations. So the outcome in the big picture is all about the legacy of what you leave behind.
So what's your
legacy? For the next person.
What you want them to say when they say your name and your legacy? What you want it to be said that you was doing?
May the work that I done speak for me.
Come on.
Just like my brother.
Yeah.
We put that in his casket.
Yeah.
Let the work that I done speak for me.
So.
I want them to have a blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be able to say, okay, this is who we are.
Mm-hmm.
This is who we are. And those are the souls that are like lineage connected to me.
Gotcha.
Not outside of that. But when I talk about family, my nieces, my children, who got to come and pick up the torch and the baton, I want them to know who we are.
Gotcha.
This is who we are.
Gotcha.
And this is what we do and how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to be able to leave a legacy of power, of respect, those boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to leave money.
Come on.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
I want to be able to leave wealth where they have opportunities.
Yeah, that we didn't have. And why it's important that they understand who we are and how we do things. Yes, ma'am.
Is because you can mishandle that wealth.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And when I talk about wealth, not just in the monetary fashion, but wisdom. So when I talk about the blueprint, I want them to know how to pursue, how to go about it. And I can only live that out through my choices, through my actions.
Facts.
So,
okay.
I don't know.
This has been a good one.
Thank you.
This has been a real good one. So I do one question before we get up out of here, and I'm going to give you this one. Then I want you to also shout out your platform and stuff like that, where they can reach you at, and everything that you got going on. In the case of emergency, who's the first person you call?
That's tough. It depends on what the emergency is.
First person.
Oh my goodness.
It's no right or wrong.
It ain't no. First person I'm gonna call an emergency. Oh my God. It can't be two people.
just give me the one first. Just give me the one first.
I'm gonna probably call my mama.
Okay. You and your mama together. It's an emergency. Who's the next person?
My ex.
You see what I'm saying? That's tough, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why I asked because you got this thing in work when you're in corporate America. It's called the emergency contact.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it's either supposed to be your spouse or your parents or whatever, depending on how you get down. My challenge is to the world that we have a phone. It might have 1,800 contacts in it, everybody and everything. Be able to have 5 people that you can call for everything. Not one thing, but everything. But be able to know their number by heart is the challenge. You see what I'm saying? We don't memorize numbers. We don't remember nothing, but we know that we can call certain people. But if that phone die, we kind of like a duck in water. You see what I'm saying? So I always challenge people to make sure they have multiple people that they can pour into them and that they can pour into them. And then I don't care if it's like real estate, right? I want to start this or I want to do this. You should be able to call somebody and say, hey, because you know me and you know what I bring to the table and I know what you bring to the table, I want to start this and I need $1,000 from this person. I need $1,000 from you and we should be able to do that. I tell my guy all the time, he should be able to call his people and say, hey, man, I want to do something with my, with my visuals and my, what I'm doing over here with photography and everything else, right? He should be able to call multiple people and they should be able to do it. And if not, we have to keep elevating until we get to that place because getting to that place will show growth. It's nothing wrong with your friends will still be your friends, but it's people in business that you should be able to call. It's people in, when you're going through and everything, but you should be able to call. It shouldn't be one thing you can call this person for or one thing you can call that person for. So that camera right there, if you be so kind to shout out your handles.
Okay.
And, job, everything like that as far as what you do and where they can reach you at.
Okay. So I am Carletta, a.k.a. Ms Mogul. You can find me on Facebook as Carletta Temple. We also, in March, we will be kicking off our Ms Mogul page. So on all platforms, you can find Ms Mogul KC. Ms Mogul KC. Yeah. Website. Oh, so I'm an entrepreneur. I own a real estate brokerage here in Kansas City. I'm an investor, developer, and I'm a motivational speaker and a life coach. I will be accepting new clients after March. I'll be starting my life coach business, and I'll be accepting clients after March. Yeah. So I think I covered everything.
That's good. That's good. So like I tell y'all all the time, never goodbye. I always see you later. May God be your direction and we be your seatbelt in this thing called life. Till we see each other again, man. Y'all be cool, be safe, man. Love.